Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you're doing okay. I'm going to read through the majority of the article here. There's a link in the description to give you a brief overview to begin with. It's in regards to these two absolute pieces of shit that you see in front of you. They're the mother and father of a 4-week-old infant that died late last week. This happened in Georgia. The baby died of alcohol poisoning. I mean, it says 4 times the legal limit of alcohol in his system. A bit confused by that, but certainly alcohol poisoning. The mother initially claimed it was because she was drinking and breastfeeding, and somehow the alcohol must have transferred. And then it transpired that the father had given the baby some alcohol, and that was the reason for the death. So they are facing multiple charges for murder for the death of their own 4-week-old baby. Again, this happened in Georgia late last week. So we're going to go through things more thoroughly at this point. There is a link in the description if you'd like to go through that yourself. If you do like this type of content, or rather if you value this type of content, please do show me some encouragement, like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. So for those guys that just want the brief overview, I'll thank you for your time. But for those that want to stick around and have a look at the details more closely, I'll start reading the details now. Mother and father in Georgia were arrested in connection with the death of their 4-year-old infant late last week. The article doesn't tell us if it was a baby boy or a baby girl. These two scumbags here, Sydney Moran Dunn, 24, the mother, and Marquis Simon Colvin, 25, the father, both absolute pieces of shit, both stand accused of 1 count of malice murder, which essentially means first-degree murder, after their newborn baby died from extreme alcohol poisoning on April the 14th, 2022. A large number of additional charges have also been filed against these pieces of shit. The sheriff's office say that it was initially contacted by staff at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta in reference to an unresponsive infant brought by its parents to the hospital on April the 13th, 2022. The two scumbag parents relayed a story that the hospital staff did not believe. They said that it didn't make sense, so they alerted authorities. Law enforcement determined that the child was suffering from having consumed too much alcohol. Apparently, the mother, Dunn, allegedly told investigators that she had drank a lot the day before, and with breastfeeding, she noticed that the child was responding differently. So she was arguing initially that the baby was suffering from secondhand alcohol poisoning due to the breastfeeding. And then she indicated to the authorities that the scumbag father put alcohol in the baby's bottle. I'm not a parent. I'm probably never going to be a parent. That's not a good thing, is it? To put alcohol in the baby's bottle. I know, like, to a degree, that kind of thing used to happen, does happen to an extent, but it's certainly not a good thing. It does remind me, I can vaguely remember a similar case a few months back, and one of the commentators kindly gave me a little bit of an education in regards to providing infants with alcohol and such, and it's really not a good idea, is it? But I think I'm thinking of maybe cough medicine or Benadryl or something. You know, the tiniest amount is going to have too much of an effect on a baby infant. Anyway, back to the article. Once the child was unresponsive, she said that she took the baby to the hospital. The child died the next day after having been taken to the hospital. Medical staff told law enforcement that the infant had a massive quantity of alcohol in its system at the time of death, 4 times the legal limit for an adult. Wow, that's big. Man, that is big, yeah. Yes, okay, so I was a little bit confused at the beginning. 4 times the legal limit for an adult in Georgia. Wow, and you're giving that amount to a baby, a 4-week-old. That's just fucking nuts. Are you guys just, what is it? Are you evil? Are you just like extremely low IQ? It's one or the other, perhaps both. In addition to first-degree murder, the mother faces charges of second-degree murder, felony cruelty to children, and misdemeanor reckless conduct. The father was charged with second-degree murder, felony cruelty to children, misdemeanor reckless conduct, felony possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and a felony parole violation. So multiple charges, but including first-degree murder and second-degree murder. Felony cruelty to children. So very strong charges, and they deserve that. And I hope that the trial will go ahead without any major issues, and that they're sentenced accordingly for causing their death of their 4-year-old by poisoning the 4-year-old with alcohol. The defendants are being detained in the Paulding County Jail without bond. Well, that's a good thing. So I would like to know whether or not Georgia has the death penalty. Yes, I've done a quick Google search. Georgia does have the death penalty, so that's a good thing. If I understand that correctly, it was a long article. I didn't read it all, but seemingly Georgia does have the death penalty. Why not give these guys the death penalty? Why not? I mean, I suppose you could argue, or they're going to argue, that it's accidental. That's what they're going to argue. Well, I mean, the mother said it was due to breastfeeding, first of all. Seemingly that was a bunch of bullshit. The hospital staff saw through their lies, so they know that they've done wrong, and they're trying to cover up their wrongdoings. They're going to claim that it was accidental, that they gave the 4-week-old infant alcohol so that it would sleep. That's what they're going to say. But 4 times the legal limit in the system, for 4 times for an adult, and we're talking about a 4-week-old infant. I mean, how much is that? That's going to be like roughly equivalent to, I don't know what your limits are in Georgia, but my guess is that that would be roughly equivalent to a bottle of wine. That's what I'm thinking, a bottle of wine. Maybe even more than that, or, like 4 beers, or like 4 whiskeys, something like that. No, not a small amount, like an insane. Why the fuck would you give that to a 4-week-old? Was it because that's what they were trying to do? Were they trying to kill the baby? I don't know. We don't know. Let's see if the trial finds out. But either way, it's either through negligence and just absolute, there's a word which begins with R, which a lot of you won't like, and I shouldn't say, but just very, very, either extremely evil, this was purposeful, or it was extremely negligent. And you'd have to be so low IQ to be this negligent. I'm going to wrap things up at this point. If you have listened to this, if you do appreciate this, then please do show me some encouragement. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Do comment. Like, what do you know about giving infants alcohol? I mean, like, how common is that? How normal is that? I suspect that it is common to a degree, that it has been socially accepted to a degree, or perhaps was. I can imagine. Again, I'm not a parent. I've never been a parent. I never probably will be a parent. But yeah, it's not. I don't know. Look, I'm going to wrap things up here, but I do welcome all comments, all feedback. Thank you for your time.